Porsha ready to steal somebody else's husband. Yours. Yours. Sweetie me again. Sweetie me again.
Record that.
Then also, who else do we have? There's a new girl named Angela Oakley. Now I don't know Angela, but I hear her husband is everything. I hear her husband is everything. I hear her husband is everything.
And y'all can even say he's too old for her because Porsha is in the midst of divorcing her grandfather. So, nah. Okay, this is the perfect age range for Porsha right here.
I just feel like, even though you may not be married, it's just some things are just common sense of how to behave around a married couple. Mm-hmm. And for me, I don't even like to stand and look someone's husband eye to eye and carry on more than a 3-minute conversation. So when we go to exchange telephone numbers, like I was telling somebody the other day, every type of communication that you have with this couple needs to go through the wife. And you should know that at some point in your life. And if you overstep that boundary, then your intentions were wrong from the beginning. Porsha wrote a coloring book about wanting to be R. Kelly's main girl despite him having a wife, leaving a woman that was screaming to be let out of R. Kelly's sex cult. She fantasized about her ex-husband being her man when he was in a public relationship with his baby mother. Then she's engaged to a dude whose soon-to-be ex-wife was her co-worker. She met both of them on the show at the same time and started an affair with him. So yeah, journalists are going to ask basic questions and not stroke your ego.
Damn. I'm sorry.
I work for Dish Nation. I am in the world of journalism. So my word needs to be
journalism is.
So you're downplaying my job? This word right here is killing me. What's this?
Reciprocation?
Reciprocity.
Let me see, Porsha.
It's a big. It's
reciprocity.
Reciprocity. No.
That ain't it.
Look at it. Come look at it. Come look at it.
Give me a minute.
Reciprocity. Hard mess, child.
I would like Porsha to spell scepter. So.
It's almost hurtful to me to watch her be so dumb. Somebody wrote a death on 265 days a year. What is wrong with that?
Porsha Williams coming back to Real Housewives of Atlanta? That's false. But Porsha Guardia is in the building. See y'all.
Well, I guess Porsha Williams is coming back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta because
Porsha Guardia
filed for divorce, child, and we don't even know if that's truly her real name because you all know I've been reporting about it that the man re-entered this country after being deported due to his criminal past under a fake name and fake identity. Got his paperwork under that fake identity and then decided to file for a citizenship in this country under that fake identity. And that's how he was caught. For those of you who missed that video, I have linked that video in the description below. If you want more information on Porsha filing for divorce, I have linked that video in the description below. Now let's get into the current topic. What's up, my Finna loves? It's Miss Finna D coming to you all from Finna News. If you missed the video I did yesterday, please click the very first link in the description below to watch that video. I was very detailed. That video is almost 30 minutes. I'm going to give you a quick summary to get to today's event since the intro is already extra long, but it's too hilarious to, not post. Anyway, so yesterday, most of you are aware that Shemia celebrated her birthday by filming the event for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Shemia was giving her peach, so she's bringing the luxury and the lifestyle that Porsha promised, okay? So this video is floating around of Shemia being excited about her luxury vehicle that her husband bought her and all of that. So celebration, celebration, celebration. Well, Simon visited that Real Housewives of Atlanta page and left this comment right here. He wrote, "Congratulations, my good sis Shemia. I'm so happy for you. My brother Jared has excellent taste in fine automobile. Look forward to watching the only cast member with Rose this guy." And to that, Porsha responded, "Simon, don't forget a debt-free husband who is a U.S. citizen. My bestie is winning." And then after Porsha did that, Simon then responded with this right here. "Despite not holding U.S. citizenship, this immigrant with 34 plus years of impeccable credit history secured a $7 million home. The property is now inhabited by a U.S. citizen who was once married to me for precisely 453 days. Just imagine that." Exactly. You want to diss me and my citizenship, but yet you are living in the house I paid for? You want to talk about debt, but yet you are still in my house throwing parties and doing whatever, trying to kick me out and take over my home when you have your own house to go to. Yes, give me back my house that I bought before the marriage. However, when you sign and put certain things in your prenup, then the judge have to step in. So they will figure it out. But how dare you try to clown me when you are currently living on the roof that I provided you, Miss American Citizen? Why don't you go ahead and move back in your house since I'm worthless now because I don't have a citizenship? But Simon's response did not stop there. He continued about the benefits of the American citizens are, and then go ahead and read all of that. "In my case, as a green card holder, the only limitations I have is the privilege of voting in the U.S. election and relying on government benefits. Neither one hinders my presence in the United States. I have dedicated my life to striving for financial independence and providing for my family and community," okay? And then he went ahead and captioned the post, "I realize there is much misinformation surrounding my impending divorce, and the reoccurring one is about the benefits of U.S. citizenship versus U.S. permanent residency, which I have been one for 34 years. Hopefully the above brings some educational clarity to the masses." So that's where we left off, and that's just me being very quick with it. But if you want the entire video, please click, like I said, the link in the description below to watch it. Fast forward to today, Simon came back with this right here. So after everything I posted about Simon, Porsha, Kenya, and everything that happened yesterday, Simon came back and posted today, "What about Simon's homeless kids?" And I talked about this yesterday. So instead of sounding like a broken record, please click once again the link in the description below to watch the video I did yesterday to hear my commentary on what I had to say about this whole situation involving his children. Simon wrote, "I would like to publicly thank the mothers of my 3 minor children who have stepped up to provide cover for our minor children. We are into the 3rd month of litigation without proper visitation. These women have played their part as co-parents and are now asked to do more with the added burden of caring for my children when they are supposed to be in my care. My children are growing and maturing every day and unfortunately do not have the benefit of my presence. Seemingly, everyone wants to focus on everything but what's important in a family, especially when it comes to children and co-parenting. I have had joint physical custody of my kids for 5 years. Those boys are in my home 2 weeks out of the month. I also have visitation rights to my daughter, who is 11 years old and lives in California, and last meeting had to be diverted to Dubai for spring break. She was ultimately out of a home for 3 weeks during spring break. All 3 kids currently displaced. I would like each and every one of you, especially those with kids, pray for me and my family. They deserve consideration as well. Like I said, Porsha is in a man's $7 million home, okay? When Porsha still have her own house that she and her one daughter can move to, but flexing for Bravo and showing that she upgraded her lifestyle and look at my mansion, look at my house, is more important than doing what's right. You can throw the fun shade and all of that, but at the end of the day, the innocent kids are the ones who are struggling and suffering through all of this, and it's not fair. So this person wrote, Simon sold his home and Porsha gave her home to her mother. Simon and Porsha purchased this home together right before they got married. The house is as much as hers as it's his. No one has been misplaced. Why I keep saying this? Simon responded, basically she's loud and wrong. He sold 2 multi-million-dollar properties and used the proceeds as down payment. And you believe a marriage that lasted 453 days entitles the other party to equity in the home? Let that happen to your family member, not me. Basically, Simon is saying he made a down payment. He bought the house. Porsha did nothing but move her things in the home, and although yes, he had every intention on living in the house with his wife, and it was her marital home as well. Now that the marriage didn't last even 2 years, she doesn't deserve equity in his home, and she doesn't deserve to live there. The reason why Porsha is still there is because Simon was bragging about having moving companies on standby. You all remember that? Okay, so Porsha was smart enough to include in case something happened where a divorce happened, and all of that. I want to be able to stay in the house for at least a year, okay, until I find something else or until we sell this house, and you can give me some of the money for me to then go ahead. I'm just summarizing, okay? So that's why Porsha is still able to live there legally. Right now, her living there is temporary. A judge ruled temporarily that she could live there. But Simon did file to block the filming of the Real Housewives of Atlanta in his house. That's the only thing Porsha cares about. I'm not coming back on the show that I promised Bravo I was going to bring this elevated, this lavish and amazing lifestyle just to come back in my old house with my mother. No luxury, no big mansion, no gifts, no car, no this, no that. And Shamia is the one giving us what I promised. So now Porsha Williams is basically desperate at this point, and she's asking the court to allow her to film in her marital home. Okay, so she filed paperwork again yesterday and saying that it's vital to her ability to sustain her income and employment. Now, Porsha was awarded possession and sole exclusive use of the marital residence last month. Basically, according to court documents, she was free to use the marital residence as she pleases, including for filming and production purposes. But then again, of course, like I previously stated, Simon and his legal team came back demanding that, she basically don't film in his house because he paid for it and it's his house. The Porsha people basically wrote in their documents, there is no logical or rational reason as to why husband now seeks to prohibit wife from filming at the marital residence, other than in an attempt to retaliate against wife and intentionally restrict her ability to earn a living and expand her career. Porsha charged in an emergency order. Porsha basically is saying, like I said previously, dragging the production company into the lawsuit have led the production company into the legal mess, and they have advised her, and they're saying that they will not proceed with filming Porsha, which directly impacts her ability to make a successful return to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Porsha is saying Simon's sole purpose of prohibiting her from filming inside her home is to shield one party from disclosing sensitive, private, or personal information about the other party. She will not film in areas that are personal to her husband or areas that may contain information personal to her husband, including his bathroom, closet, office, etc., in an attempt to resolve the matter. But Simon isn't budging. Good for you, Simon. The paperwork further says that to prevent wife from filming her day-to-day activities and lifestyle in the residence to which she has exclusive possession, use, and occupancy is neither reasonable nor fair to wife, and basically is blocking her ability to provide a realistic view into her life, which is necessary to be successful on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Porsha says not being able to film inside a marital home blocks her ability to fulfill her duty as a Real Housewife cast member. She is demanding the court to allow her to film or produce television, film, or social media or other visual content in or around the marital residence. I mean, what Simon is saying isn't stopping you from filming. This is what you did on Mother's Day. It's in the house. He threw a whole party, and this video is on social media, and you had Dennis in the house, and you have a hashtag with his social media name in your caption and everything. So, I mean, I'm not on Porsha's side. I'm not on Simon's side. But if Porsha got a house before she got married a man, and then that man was demanding the house, the reaction would be completely different. It's all I'm saying. Now, if these two were married for 5 years, 10 years, I get it. You marry this man in 2 seconds and you want to walk away with a $7 million home, or when he sell it, you want half when you did not buy it, your name is not on it. Also, you want to stay in the home while he continues to pay your bills and all of the expenses in the home. And then you also expect him to get another home for, him and his children and pay the mortgage on that one. Like, what? But this is where people are throwing the way how Simon treated Fallon back in his face, told the lady that she had 3 weeks to leave and find a new home with her kids and didn't care about the time frame and
moved away. Or how did the ending happen?
Same way y'all saw it. It just went away. One day I was happy, and the next day he was gone.
Oh, he just never came back to the house.
He came back after a few months. Yeah.
Months.
So I had my kids in our house and his kids too. And he was just traveling wherever he was. No communication, barely any. And then he came back, and it was you have 3 weeks to leave.
Oh, the premises.
Mm-hmm.
You had 3 weeks, or both of you?
No, I had 3 weeks.
Okay. Leave. He gave you a letter or something that said you got 3 weeks?
No, he sent me a text.
Okay.
Real about as good as it got.
3 weeks to leave.
So where did his kids go?
They were with me.
No. And so y'all all had 3 weeks.
You left with his kids too?
No, I ended up having a conversation with his ex-wife, and we wanted to continue the relationship between the children. However, Simon did not want that. So we just parted ways, and, it kind of broke up the brotherhood between all the boys, which was really sad and unfortunate, I think, for everybody. So, yeah, it was like, you got 3 weeks to leave. And he told me I could have more time if I wanted, but I was so hurt by how quickly our marriage just shifted and how my happiness just came to a abrupt ending. I didn't know what I was feeling or thinking. I wasn't myself.
Now he's on social media talking about, what about Simon's homeless kids? Even though you can't use that word, because you do have the means to provide a roof over your head and your children's head. So technically, he's not homeless. His kids are not homeless. But I understand what he's trying to say. But everything Fallon described is exactly what happened to Simon. So people are screaming karma, but for the sake of the kids, there's empathy there. But according to Simon, one woman was good, was on vacation, smiling. The next moment, Porsha heard some things on social media, and she's filing for divorce and everything. Everything Fallon just said, it was abrupt. Porsha served it to him. The only difference is Fallon stayed in the house with the kids. She did not abandon his kids with the nanny. If Porsha had absolutely nowhere to go, I would have some form of empathy. But the fact that Porsha is more concerned with proving to the viewers of the Real Housewives of Atlanta that she's made it and upgraded and look at my house and look at what I'm doing, all of these different things, and being materialistic is more important to her than these innocent children. That's where I draw the line. Absolutely. Simon can afford a new home. Simon can afford to provide for his children. I'm just saying, Porsha has one daughter, okay? And she can move. Compared to this man still having 3 younger children that she didn't care about uprooting them and all of that. And it's not because I don't have nowhere to go. You know, this came out of nowhere. Things like that. You know what? Absolutely, Porsha. Stay in the house. It's all about greed and a show. That's the part where I'm not rocking with that. It's not about I need a roof. It's all about show this lifestyle that I'm not currently living. It's not real. Your reality is you moving back to your house that you bought with your own money. That's your reality. Yes, I did see the 2 seconds Instagram live of Porsha going live and showing the cars, proving that she still have it. But
Pretty out here today. Just gorgeous. Oh, you want me to come pick you up? Okay, I'm coming to pick you up. Play in the street.
But if the man left you in his house with the cars in the garage and you still have access to the keys, and of course you can show the car. Show your reality and what you are genuinely going through. But Porsha was like, after what Cordell put me through, I'm going to make sure I protect myself. And that's exactly what she's doing. And Simon, like I said previously, you are too seasoned for this to have happened to you. But hopefully, lesson learned, and you start putting your kids first before jumping so fast in these relationships and marrying people and turning their lives upside down. That is not fair to the children. I put something in the title. I address it in the beginning. Okay, you can clearly see that this video was done. I was about to upload it, and then I dozed off, went to bed, woke up in the middle part of the night and realized that Simon started again. Okay, this is a post and delete. It's no longer on his page. If it's back on his page, that means he didn't delete it. He archived it. But for now, it's not there. But he posted this and he wrote, reminder, the skills of justice are about fairness in court cases. There are 2 sides to every story, and each side of a case or a story must be heard. Each side gets the chance to present evidence or the details about the case. And then go ahead and read Simon caption. It's on the screen, okay? Basically talking about receipts, will be presented and all of that, all right? And that he is not playing with Porsha. So there you have it, chat. We've talked about this before. Whenever someone like or pin a comment, that's them agreeing with the person who left the comment. So this first comment, these posts are evidence as well. Best to wait for court and not try the case publicly. It's not up to the public. He responded, if that were true, then my personal life from 34 years ago would never have been in public demand, so please spare me. Someone else wrote, she was still sleeping with her baby daddy. She married you and planned her exit by taking your house. She released your information to the press when her plans are in motion. And you are in Dubai for what? Shaking my head. Simon pinned that comment, basically saying that, yes, Porsha allegedly cheated on him with Dennis and that she had an exit plan. Sounds familiar. Like Porsha thought that this one, it would never be me. I mean, the same playbook. Porsha and I were getting dragged. So let me go ahead and lie and say Fallon cheated on me. When they were already broken up, they were already done. She did not cheat on him. But because he found out later on that Fallon was pregnant, This is the perfect way to lie on her and say she did. I saw the text messages. I saw the timeline. That woman did not cheat on him. Did she move on fast? Absolutely, because Jalen was there for her in her time of need. But she didn't cheat because Mr. Receipt, if you really had true receipt, we would have seen it. Showing someone who had access to your house, pulling up to the same house in a car, and showing him pulling up with your wife, but they both goes in a separate direction because he was allowed at your house when you were not there. You used to call him and tell him, allegedly, but I saw the text messages, can't go to the house and spend the night with Fallon and the kids. I'm not in town. So him having access to your house wasn't no shocker. But anyways, here he is now. Porsha is cheating with Dennis. I mean, the same thing. The difference is Porsha flipped it on him and kicked him and his children out of his house based on what he signed in that prenup. But that's what he did to Fallon. Now, do I think Porsha was that cold to say the kids have to leave too? Absolutely not. But did she use scare tactics to get them out? Absolutely. Allegedly. For example, according to the nanny, Simon is away for work. She's there with the kids. Porsha takes her daughter, disappears for a few weeks, filed for divorce, comes back to the house with a guy that had a gun, made her uncomfortable. Porsha then left again, then came back with her mother boyfriend, and another guy, which made the nanny uncomfortable. Not only did Porsha do that, Porsha moved back in the house, and then she and her family went around the house disconnecting the security camera that Simon had connection to watch, see his kids, look through the house and things like that. So now I'm in this house with this woman and her family, meaning I'm outnumbered with my boss and his children, and I'm not comfortable. I don't feel safe. And Simon, I don't mind taking care of your children, but not in this type of environment. So since Simon have to travel for work, now you have to go to your mother because now Porsha is using different tactics to get rid of you. So do I think she came in and said, okay, boys, get out and kick them out that code? No. But there were things set in place for that to happen, allegedly based on the court documents. Now, Simon did respond to a few more people, so I'm just going to put that on the screen and go ahead and end it. Regardless, hopefully these two can figure it out and move on. Simon will eventually, hopefully, get his house back. Things are just temporary right now until a judge permanently sign off on an order. So they're still in court. So nothing is finalized yet. I'm wishing all of you well and take care. This person wrote, how much did Porsha put down for the house? She could barely buy a wig without leashing of Simon. God would judge that lady. It's too obvious, too insultingly bold. How can she do that without shame? Someone responded 0. Porsha put 0 down. Why didn't you just rent another house in the States? Why did you go all the way to Dubai? Some of us have to work in different parts of the world, and it is not always around the block from our homes. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you sign that agreement when you two got married? If so, that was your choice to sign on the dotted line in case of divorce. You weren't thinking of your children then? That should have never been an option. And Simon responded, prenups are contractual agreements or contracts subject to several elements of consideration, including fairness, in order for them to be enforceable. The courts would eventually make that determination of its enforceability or fairness amongst other things. So what Simon is saying, it doesn't matter what was signed. If Porsha cannot prove certain things and all of that, then the prenup cannot be enforced and all of that, okay? So Porsha is in the house temporarily until they figure out everything else. And in the midst of all of this, Simon is saying his kids are now homeless and displaced. So this other person responded, why can't you rent an apartment for yourself and them and have them with their mothers when you have to work overseas? Rent an apartment? What a genius idea. I'm away to return to my pots and pans at my blood and sweat home that I worked for in the last 42 years. Exactly. I'm supposed to rent an apartment and give up on my $7 million home that I pay for because a woman wants to show off, I get it. I need time to move. I need time to find a new home. I need time for my child and I to get settled somewhere else. I get that. But to want to take claims to the man house that you did not pay for, that's the part that I'm not here for. Because you can't even use the excuse you want me to uproot my child and change the environment. You didn't have no problem uprooting or doing anything when you brought Pulai around this man. Since you wanted us to believe that you met him in 2 seconds and said yes to a marriage proposal, if we're going to believe your lies, then you're telling us in a month you were comfortable with having your young daughter around a man that you fell in love with in a month and accepted his proposal. You were okay with rushing and moving your young child in the house with this strange man. Moving back to a familiar space because she's at your mother's house all the time is not uprooting because you did it before with me. So it's obvious you don't have a problem with doing that. You know, there's so many ways that Simon could flip all of these things in court. But like I said, I wish them the best, yeah. It's not going to work because you didn't see that as a problem when you saw dollar signs. I like Porsha, but this is sad. I could see if the marriage was for a longer period. However, to divorce someone out of nowhere and keep the home that they paid for is just foul, especially when you have a home you could go to. You really have to watch who you marry these days. Shaking my head. She's a gold digger just like her mom. Cordell tried to tell ya. I hope Kenya is Kenya-ing. Porsha Williams is evil. Kenya was right all along. Aww. Isn't it interesting when people always come back that Kenya was right, but at first she was a hater. Che. Maybe Porsha is taking revenge out on you because her first marriage, she left with nothing. I'm all for fairness, but even in the USA, you have to be married for over 5 years to get the spouse benefit. This marriage didn't last 2 years. Make it make sense. I think Simon should put his ego aside and look for Fallon. So he's mad he can't do Porsha the way he did Fallon. The narrative would never go in your favor this time, Simon. Thank you all for your love and support. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and leave this video a thumbs up. Also turn on notifications so when I do post, you're aware that I posted. And I will see you all in the comment section. Remember to always have the God bless attitude, which is being positive at all times and seeing the good in every situation. Have a great day, guys. God bless.